Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the darkest timeline. You got me for the day, and we're talking silence. That's right, we're talking about silence. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Let's find out together. Broken cars, trips to the vet, having a good day. Games, movies, TV, VR, all of it this week, this time, depending on how you look at it. And it's all here for you. Before we start, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you leave a review. Obviously, the one we like the best out of all of those is share that podcast around. Please, 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 please. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the darkest timeline. Hello. How you doing? How is everybody? We all good? We all well? We all, I don't know, enjoying it? If you're having a good day, a good time, a good experience, I salute you. I'm happy for you. If you're not having such a good time, or maybe the best day, or the best time of things, reach out. Give us a shout. We'd love to talk. If you don't want to reach out to somebody here at the podcast, reach out to somebody, friends, family, or any of the many services that there are out there, and just say, hey, I'm not doing too great right now. But like I say, if you want to and you feel okay, do reach out to anyone here, and we'll talk to you. How are we all doing? I suddenly feel more tired than I did when I clicked record, which is not going to help anything right now. I think I've got a giant yawn, and now that I've said it, here it comes. Oh, I've got a right old bag of stuff this week. Do you ever have that thing? I want to know if this is a me thing or if this is a universal thing. You ever have that thing where you're like, if you're in a relationship or if you've got children or I don't know, like housemates, or basically if you don't live completely on your own, and you have that situation where significant other or children or just whoever it is you live with, they're like, oh, we're going out on this day at this time. And you very quickly do the maths and you go, I'm going to be in the house on my own. Oh my God, the world of possibilities that's just opened to me, that's just presented itself to me, the world of possibilities. I can, do a job or, get that thing done that I never get the opportunity to do. Or from a more, I was going to say from a more selfish perspective, but from a more, not self-help, what's that other one? Self-care perspective. You're like, oh, I can play a game or watch what I want to watch on TV, or I can lie on the sofa with the dog, or... So, you're presented with a situation. Oh, we're going to be out all day. Oh, going to be on my own. Oh, that's going to be fun. It's going to be nice. There you go. The house is empty. You're excited. Kettle on, make a drink. Pour yourself a cold drink while you're at it. Double drinks. Yes. Then you're like, oh, what do I do first? Maybe I should get all the jobs out of the way. So you're like rushing around doing the things that you either need to do or don't get the opportunity to do. And then you're like, okay, now what? You're like, oh, well, I could do this, or I could do that, or do the other. Put something on to watch, and you watch something, and you don't get interrupted, and you can have it at the volume you like. You can put the subtitles on if you want. Yeah, I'm aware of those being old man things, but, you know, I guess I like to read my TV. And then you're like, oh, I can put a game on, and you know, oh, I'm gonna make another drink and get a different drink, and oh, I've got all these drinks. Anyway, it's you never really notice how quiet it is when nobody else is here. It's almost eerie in the middle of the day how quiet it is. It's real quiet, you know, when nobody's saying "daddy" for the 50th time for that day, and there isn't somebody interrupting every single word that you say, and you put a computer game on and you don't have a small pair of hands prying the controller out of your hands, going, "I can do it." It's like, oh, you've learned how to drift, have you, on this driving game that you've never played before? Yeah, I know how to do it. Of course you do. And I'm amazed by this illusion. You've got this illusion that it's gonna be great. It's gonna be the best day ever. You're gonna have such a good time. It's gonna be so liberating, so freeing, so you can have some real alone time, real time to relax and enjoy yourself and do what you want to do. And within sometimes minutes, you're like, why is it so fucking quiet? And you start putting you put a podcast on so that, you know, you don't have to put your earphones in, or you don't have to go in a different room and listen to it. So you've got a podcast on, so now you've got noise. And it's like, great. But you don't have to pause it every 3 seconds because someone's talking to you. And you're like, this is the best. I can listen to a podcast with the volume on. It's brilliant, this. It's great. It's great. I love it. Yeah. Still quite quiet though, isn't it? When the podcast, when nobody's talking on the podcast, it's still got that eerie silence in the middle of the day. And then you get so far and you're like, it's real quiet, this, isn't it? Honestly, I have such grand ideas, such grand designs. I'm going to do everything all at once. I'm going to do a job whilst relaxing, whilst, you know, tidying, whilst lying on the sofa, whilst watching TV and playing a computer game all at the same time. And, oh my God, there's not enough time. I'm not going to have enough time to fit all of the stuff that I'm going to do in. You get to the end of the day, you didn't do half the things you were going to do because you have that sort of guilt where you're like, I should be doing something else. You can't sit down and enjoy playing a game or watching something because you know there's something you should be doing. You've got a job that you should be doing. And then you go off and do a job just to feel less guilty, and so on and so on and so on. And by the afternoon, you're kind of starting to go a little stir crazy, and you understand how the whole stir crazy thing works. And then there's a point in time where the front door bursts open and lots of noise comes in, and you have that kind of and it's such a mixture where you're like, oh, the silence is broken, how awful. But at the same time, you're like, oh, the silence is broken. Oh, yes, finally. And then you get like, Daddy, what are you playing? Can I have a go? Like, oh, did you have a nice time? Did you have a good day? Yeah. What did you do? Nothing. You been out of the house all day. What have you been doing? Nothing. All right, good chat. I just think, like, I don't know if it's an age. I just noticed that the desk is damaged. It's always good to find more damage in your house. I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's one of those where, you know, I think it is. I think I've heard it, you know, a phenomena where you're like, you think it's a great time. I always have it like, there are times when Leanne's like, I'm going out, and I'm like, okay, you have a good time, you enjoy that. And immediately you're like, I had a thing recently where she was like, I'm going out on this evening, and I was like, oh yeah. It's like, I am gonna do all kinds of things. I'm gonna watch that TV show I've been watching. In fact, I might even watch a movie. And then I've got a whole list of games, and I'll play them all. And I'm gonna play some. I'm gonna play VR first, and then I'm gonna play flat games, and it's gonna be the best. And then she was poorly, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I can't believe that after all my plans are going to go out the window, because I'd planned to do all these things, and I can't do that now because she's going to be here. It was only when I got to the evening did I realise I can still do all of that stuff even if she is here, because that's what I would probably do anyway. And she was ill, so she was in bed, and I'm like, okay, I'll do those things I was going to plan. And it's hard to sort of explain that kind of, oh yeah, great, I'll be on my own, and then you go, oh, I'll be on my own, and oh great, I'll be able to do all these things that I can't do when everyone else is here, and then you do the things that you would normally do because that's what you do whether people are there or not, and you're like, maybe it's a deeper thing. Maybe it's not about the illusion of being able to do stuff. Maybe it's deeper. My car broke. That's part of a sentence. Because what I'd said the other day was my car finally broke. Which makes it sound a lot like I was looking forward to it happening, or willing it to happen, or those sorts of things. Not the case. The case was I knew something was wrong. I'd had a squealing sound coming from the car, not me personally. I'm not squealing right now anyway. Yeah, got to take a jump rope. Help, I'm stuck. No, I've got my t-shirt stuck over my head. This is the worst. Okay, I'm free. I don't know why, because it's not like it's warm. I don't know why it is when I sit down and start recording a podcast, it's like, ooh, very warm. So, no, my head's a mess. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it, but I knew something was going on. I'd been driving around, especially like through the holidays, using the car a bit more and driving, and there's a squealing. And I'm like, squealing's never a good thing. And sometimes it would be bad. Sometimes it would be not as bad. Sometimes it would be like you wouldn't notice it. I started to get to the point where I was convinced the brakes were the issue and the squealing. It all tied in until at one point in time I didn't use the brakes, and I set off and was like, that squealing's going on, so it can't be the brakes. Been out and about, driving all over, driving the car, trying to make sure it was running, which was ironic. Get back home. I'm like, right, I'll swap the cars, because this one's had a good run out today. It's been all over the place, and it's done me real well. But don't need it for the next couple of days. So I'll pop it back on the drive, swap the cars over. Literally, as I pull up to stop, there is a bang and a pop. As I'm sure anybody that owns a car knows, a bang and or pop, probably not the best thing. So I'm like, okay, the first and most crucial thing I need to know is, does the car still drive? Because I'm parked outside the house right now. Need to get it on the drive. Obviously, very quickly answer that question by moving the car and moving the car in question, and it drove onto the drive. Weirdly, fine. I was like, So, started thinking about it and was like, I've got an idea. Squealing equals belt. Fan belt, cam belt, time belt. Some of those are the same. Don't know which. So, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was told that a belt needed replacing at a certain point in time. It's like X number of years or X number of miles. Nowhere near the miles required. Less than half the miles required. But years-wise, definitely in the region. So I was like, okay, could have been a belt that's snapped, especially when being told one needed to replace him. So, what can we do? Well, obviously, it's a phone call to the garage. Hi, car broke. Can you look? Those are all words. Yeah, sure. What seems to be the problem? I was like, car's been squealing for a while. The guy was like, ooh. I was like, whoa. Steady on there, my friend. We've not got to the good stuff yet. I was like, car was squealing for the last few days, and as I pulled onto my drive, it went bang and pop, and the car still drove, but I can't imagine a bang and a pop is any good. And the guy went, no, not really. I was like, cool. I was like, right, let me see when I can get you in. Now, obviously, that's the point in time that you're real hopeful that they're like, oh, I've got a cancellation for tomorrow morning. And you're like, perfect, I'll bring it around now. He went away and came back. He's like, I will say this, he did caveat with, I don't think it'll be anytime soon. And I was like, yeah, okay. Well, the garage I've been using for many years at this point in time. Big fans of our local garage. They treat us right. I will say this: they're very good. And as it goes with any business, when a business is good and they do well and they survive, it doesn't take long before one person's like, "Hey, I take my car here and they're really good," and another person's like, "Oh, I'll take my car there." So whereas a few years ago you could ring them and be like, I need my car fixing, and they'd be like, bring it in tomorrow, or bring it in tomorrow and we'll look at it the day after, kind of thing. There's a lot more, oh, well, it won't be anytime soon, and you're like, that's not super helpful. The guy went away, the guy came back. Like, gonna be a week on Friday. Wednesday at that point in time, and I was like, oh, fuck's sake, bro. That's like 10 days. Like, fuck, dude. Right, okay, because obviously in that situation you got to take it. It's like, can you make sure it's here first thing in the morning? We're open at 8:30. I was like, absolutely. I will bring it the night before, my friend. Somebody who shall remain nameless, who may or may not live in my house, loves Googling stuff. She's like, how are you going to get the car to the garage? It's like, well, thought I might drive it there. She's like, oh, because the internet says that you shouldn't do that. Like, okay. She's like, yeah, internet says don't do that. Don't drive it. Don't drive it at all. Like, at all. Don't drive it because kill the engine. I'm like, oh. So at this point in time, I need to work out how to get the car to the garage, which is round the corner, without driving it. That's going to be fun. Do believe that there's probably a belt situation, and if it's not the belt, I believe that there's been like a brake stuck on of one of four, if not more, and something's maybe popped there. All of which, no doubt, going to be super expensive. So that's going to be fun. Speaking of money. Money. Speaking of money, I'm going to have a drink. The two are not connected. Delicious. Wait, I haven't drunk it yet. Okay, there. Delicious. Or as somebody I know would say, delicious. Speaking of money, we have a Polly cat. Our one of our cats is intermittent poorly. One day he will be fine, ravenous, largely a dick to his brother and others, both of his brothers, one actual brother and the other brother from another mother, and that's his sort of lot in life. He's, on those days, generally a starving little prick. On other days, he's like, food? Nah, I'm good, thanks. And I'm just going to go over here and sulk about everything in life. Oh, and by the way, probably going to throw up all over your bed. We good here? So those are literally the 2 days you get out of him. That's all you get from him now. Leon's like, can't do this anymore. He needs to go to the vet. I was like, okay. Do you remember the last time we went to the vet where they charged you a astronomical amount of money to tell you they couldn't find anything wrong with him? Well, guess what? I was like, they are going to do something very similar. At the end of it, they're going to hand you a very large bill, and then they're going to tell you they can't find anything wrong with him. Oh, I know, but I just think it'd be better to know. I agree. However, see previous statement. So, off they go to the vet. The vet's like, cool, we'll do, spoilers, the exact same thing we did last time, and we'll find out what's wrong with him. Lols. Our vets are super weird. The dog is considered mine. The cats are considered Leon's. There was a point where, because of how it was set up on the system, I was able to pay an astronomical amount of money for the dog to have something done at the vets. But they couldn't speak to me afterwards to talk about it. Because apparently I wasn't authorized. I was like, hang on a minute. It's my dog. And I paid the bill. Me. Oh, yeah, you're not authorized to discuss it. Oh, but I'm authorized to, give you the money for it, right? Yeah, that's right. Cool. Because of this, turns out it's the opposite for the cats. So she can take the cat, she can pay the astronomical amount of money for the cat. One evening, I'm sat, phone starts ringing, I'm looking at it going, who the fuck's ringing me? Local number, who the fuck's ringing? This seems weird. What's going on here? I Google said number. Turns out it's the vets. Why the fuck are the vets ringing me? No message. I'm like, I say to Leanne, I'm like, hey, the vet's phoned me. She was like, oh, about the cat. I was like, oh, that might make sense, I suppose. Interesting. A couple of days later, a phone call from the vets. And I'm like, I should answer this. And that they asked to speak to owner of said cat. And I was like, look, it's a funny thing where I think there's a confusion on the system where basically the dog's mine, but I'm not aligned to the dog on the system, and the cat's registered as Leanne's, and I'm guessing that it works the other way. She was like, oh, is it so-and-so? I was like, yes, it is. She was like, oh, well, you're actually authorized to talk on this. I was like, okay. She's like, right, let's get into it. I'm like, Spoilers. I'm gonna put the important piece of information right at the front of this one. They did their test like they did last time for the same amount of money. You know what's coming, don't you? They found nothing wrong. Have you ever had to listen to somebody explain to you that A, they didn't find anything wrong, B, they're obviously aware that that test in itself cost a lot of money, and C, and here's the real kicker, they're going to need more money from you? I think I was on the phone 20 minutes. In that 20 minutes, the vet told me that this and this and this and this and this weren't wrong, but there was a test they could do. So they could do a blood test, they could do an ultrasound, they could do a dietary monitoring, there was another thing, I can't think what the other thing was called. So there was like these 4 different things that they could do. Bearing in mind, blood test has gone meh. Oh, one of them was like looking for inflammation thing, like a it's written down on the pad in the kitchen. I could go and look. Like a stomach inflammation thing. There are these 4 things. Now I already know the price of one of them because Leanne had already been told. A huge amount of money. Monstrous amount of money. They were like, oh, we can do this specific blood test. Now, again, I know how much blood tests cost from experience. Working on the principle, a specific one is going to cost more. Dietary monitoring. Work on the principle that that's going to be multiple consultations. So, multiple consultation fees. And then there was this other thing. No matter what, they need to see him again. Because they need to check him again. You know, this is the cat that they found nothing wrong with, and then they tested him and they found nothing wrong with him, but they need to see him again. See if there's anything wrong with him. I'm like, what? Like everything you've done up to this point in time? And I'd spoken to one of my neighbours at one point, and I was like, ultimately, it's just, they just make it up as they go along. The whole thing is just made up. The numbers, they just pull out of thin air. The things that they tell you, they just make it all up. It is literally just, we got to get paid, so let's go as a team, let's get together and get us paid, shall we? And it's like, okay, why don't you try telling me what's wrong with him first? let's do that bit, then let's get paid. Because if you can't do the one thing that we've actually asked you to do multiple times at this point in time, the getting you paid bit is the least of my concerns. So he's off to the vet tomorrow. I've had to back away slowly from this one. I've said everything I can say at this point. I'm very much in that camp of they are just going to keep rinsing you for money whilst telling you absolutely nothing. But I'd rather know I did something. I fully agree with you, but I don't think that you're going to get your answer. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I just keep saying I know what's wrong with him. He's got cat IBS. And he eats too fast. He doesn't chew his food. He gets it stuck in his stomach. And then he's poorly. Simple. Get smaller food. Here's something you're not ever gonna have heard me say, or will say, or whatever. I had a good day yesterday. I know what you're thinking. I had a good day yesterday, and I want to talk to you about why that's a bad thing. I know. The pessimist in me and all of that. I would always say the realist, but the pessimist in me would say, let me tell you why this is a bad thing. So, got up in the morning. My son's football has moved times, so don't have to get up quite as early, and ultimately I have to get the dog out, and I have to shower. I was going to say wash myself, which I mean factually accurate, but I couldn't think of the word shower. Fucking hell. Anyway, I need to get up and have a shower, and I need to take the dog for a walk. Those are the things I need to do before football. Me and Lan generally take it in turns, take him to football. Usually depends whether the older children are here or not. And I've had double duty, I think. So, out the door with the dog, get back. Got 10 minutes to get him to football. That's good going. Good going in my books. I'm like, right, let's go. We get in the car, we drive around to football, get to football, get out, get there a good sort of time. I send him off to go in while I was putting something in the bin, and then I come in, and he's got football, and me and him have a kick around, as we do. It mostly involves me trying to steal the football from him, and him trying to keep the ball from me, and he was laughing like a drain. He loves it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. Brings back memories from many moons ago. I always feel like watching all the dads at football. I always feel this might seem weird, but I feel embarrassed. Because it's like so many failed footballers, which is ironic because there was a real life footballer there. New regime with the new football, because it's new football, and I just have to stand there and watch, which feels a bit weird having had all the interaction previously, but also it gives me the opportunity to see how he's getting on, see how he's doing with his football, get to watch, get used to watching all of this football, and always blown away by how good he is at doing it. He's not, I'm going to say this here now, not the best footballer, but he really tries. And I'd hands down rather somebody try and not be the best versus not try. So he's trying, and I'm like, you're doing really well there, mate. And he was doing well, and he was really enjoying it. He was laughing with the coaches. He was doing it well. He was doing what he needed to. He'd scored some good goals. I'm like, this guy's good. He was where he needed to be when he needed to be there. There was a point in time where I thought I was going to have to go over and be like, mate, you don't need a football for this one, or you're in the wrong place. Or he just sorted it out. He just got it done. I was like, this guy knows. So, brimming with pride, having a good time. We get finished up. We do the races at the end. Parents join in for the races. In the car back home, I'm like, oh, did you have a good time at football, mate? Yeah. Do you like going to football, mate? Yeah. Yeah, it's good you enjoy it because it'll mean that you want to go more. Yeah. Okay, buddy. Right, let's go home. Let's get the bike out. So, home, bike, toilets, get changed from football, all of this. Get the bike out, get the helmet on, out the front door. He's riding on his bike. Another thing that he's getting really good at, riding his bike. He had that thing where, when you're not very good at something, so you shy away from it. Like early on in the process, he's only had it 4 months. And he doesn't get the opportunity to use it because he's never blinking here. So out the door we go, off he goes on his bike, and I'm like, well, you're getting really good at that bike, mate. We go up to the shops. He wants to get something to eat. I'm like, sure, you can have it as your lunch. So we go, pasty and a sausage roll, back out the door, back to the house. There we go. There was a point where he was like, can I play on this? I was like, yes. He's like, I was like, I managed to, it's charged now, because he was asking if it's charged. It's like this little handheld game thing. I was like, yes, it's charged now, because Mummy worked out how to charge it. Because apparently Daddy's inept. The whole time I'm going, it's not charging. Charges if you use the right plug, apparently. Anyway, he's having a whale of a... This is the standard... like the little handheld games we used to get in the 80s and 90s that were like green, and like the thing on the screen was a dark black, and it was like basically just squares. And, I remember having a Turtles one, and I absolutely loved it, and it was just the best. And it was like a pride and joy kind of thing, because I loved the Turtles, and it was a little handheld game. And then I found that game on this handheld thing. I'm like, this is the best. And he was playing it, and then he was playing Mortal Kombat at one point, but it's like a really like drummed down version of Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And he was playing Mario, and I'm like, this is great. And he's having a whale of a time. So I'm like, right, matey, you can have some lunch? He's like, yeah, I can have some lunch. I was like, right, okay, yeah, you can have some pasties, some sausage roll. There we go. I was like, we'll put some music on. I was like, pick some music, buddy. I was like, give me some letters. He gave me some letters. So we were listening to some music from back in the day, like I suppose my sort of music, because it would be. I was like, do you like this music, mate? He was like, yeah, I really like this. And I'm like, okay. He's like, after we've done this, can we play that other game? I'm like, sure, of course we can. So we put actual computer games on. We play actual computer games. He is at his age. He does so well with playing games, and I've written something down about this. I'll double back, because it's a subject that I keep coming back to, and I'm not sure on. And then, because Leanne and my youngest daughter were at a party, I want to say, shows how much attention I pay. They come back. She's like, oh, we need to get on and do some crafty type things. Like, you guys knock yourselves out. I've got other stuff to do. So the afternoon turned into like, they're watching a movie, I'm playing games. I get out with the dog nice and early, get back. Me and Lan finish off watching a TV show. I play some VR. I play some flat games. By the end of the day, I was like, today was a really good day. Today was a good day. It was nice and relaxing for a Sunday. I got to experience like I say, the football and the bike ride were good positive things. Playing games, like playing games with the kids. Played some of this game with my daughter, and sort of explaining how this particular game works and how she needs to sort of learn the mechanics of the game. So we were going through that. So I'm like, today was a good day. Today was a good daddy day. And that's when the panic hit, and that's when the dread came, and I went, oh shit. No, I didn't mean today was a good day. No, I meant today was a perfectly average. In fact, there were some bad points that I can't think of right now. Because this is how I'm hardwired. I'm hardwired to basically say, oh, that was good, and then panic, because that means something bad's going to happen. And I am unable to trust the process that, maybe for once, one day could actually be a good day. And let's not forget, I've got a broken, probably expensive car situation to sort out, and I've got a cat who's going to the vet for an expensive trip, and it's probably gonna catch up with me at some point. But, and I'm saying it out loud now, it was a good day, and I did have a good time, and I did enjoy it, and I do panic and worry that means that I'm now gonna have a bad week, month, more. Just be nice for once to be able to go, that was nice, and actually enjoy it. So, let's talk about computer games. Not the computer games we're going to go on to talk about, because that'd be silly. Let's talk about playing computer games with children. You may or may not have heard this, but I've got 4 children. My eldest plays, and I do mean a handful, and I don't mean a handful because it's not even a handful. She plays like 3 games. I'm quite looking forward to show her this new game we've got, because I think it would sort of fall into her wheelhouse. But that's it. And she plays when she comes, and we play together. And it's like a father-daughter bonding thing. And if I'm honest, I do worry how long it might last and what we will have to join us when it ends. We just keep recycling, like, oh, let's make another character, and let's do this, and oh, let's get a bad guy, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, there's only so long we can do this for. My middle daughter despises computer games, has no interest, wants nothing to do with them, actively avoids them where possible, except Switch games that we play as a family. My youngest daughter will play computer games, and if left to her own devices, will just play and play and play. However, the moment you put any kind of pressure on her, like, oh, you want to go over here and do this, she has instantaneous loss of interest. The moment you're like, you should do this, she's like, I don't want to play this anymore. Like, oh, that's interesting because you've been playing for 4 hours on your own. That's an exaggeration. I would never leave it for that long. You've been playing for 45 minutes on your own. The moment I tell you that you should be doing something that'll help you in this game, you're not interested anymore. So that's that. That's how I deal with each of them. Yes, I would very much like my middle daughter to at some point in time go, hey, let's play this game together. And I'd be like, finally. I also know it's probably never going to happen. I enjoy spending time with my eldest and we play games together. And me and my youngest daughter don't necessarily play together as such, but we have, and we do. And then you've got my son. Now, this isn't a battle of the sexes kind of thing, but he is a boy, and that means... No, I don't mean he is a boy, and his brain is wired differently, and he has been exposed to computer games from a very early age, which they all have. I've got pictures of pretty much all of them as babies, like actual babies, holding game controllers. I remember my 3-day-old daughter stirring because the controller I was holding vibrated on her back, and I was like, oh shit. I've got pictures of them all as babies with controllers. They've all had that kind of I'll do it mentality, and it's a real mixed bag. My son has taken to computer games like a duck to water. What may or may not be an issue for some reason is he's very good at them for the age he's at. Very good at them at the age he's at. Picks up quite well. The hand-eye coordination is obviously there, and very good at them. He's had a series of games that have been like specific interests for him. He's had some Ben 10 games when he was into Ben 10. He's had some Paw Patrol games when he was into the Paw Patrol. And then he's played other games like with his siblings. We have this Black Hole game that they all love to play. All of them love to play that, even my middle daughter. So he's had all of this, and that's been kind of okay. With the Ben 10 games, there was a little bit more. When I get home, I'm going to play Ben 10. It's like, when you get home, you're off to fucking bed. When I get home, I'm going to play this game. It's like, when you get home, yeah, actually, maybe you can, because we've got nothing else that we need to do for the rest of the day. So there are certain days that he sort of zoned in on as days that he was going to be able to play games. He'd have this thing where he'd start talking about the games when he wasn't playing the games. Oh, we need to unlock this alien, or oh, we need to do this thing, or oh, tomorrow can I play that game, and that sort of stuff. Recently, there's been a little bit of I dug out this little handheld, and both of the younger two are sort of got a little obsessed with it. At one point in time, they were very much, can we play? Obviously, then the batteries run out. Nobody can play. Can we get it charged and then we can play? That sort of thing. Will it be charged when we get home? Etc. We've been playing this game, and I'll talk about the game that we've been playing separately as part of the games section of the podcast. We've been playing this game, and he's very good at it, and he enjoys it a lot, and he can sort of do it. It literally involves one control stick and one button, and you only have to press the button every few minutes. So it's very much in his wheelhouse. But I was informed that his last words last night were, me and Daddy have been really focusing on getting the one-eyed guy and the other one-eyed guy. And maybe when I play tomorrow, we'll be able to get the one-eyed guy. And I'm like, ugh. Obviously, me and Leanne had a conversation about it last night where I was like, I have such mixed feelings about it. Because, and I've said this before when I've spoken about it in the past, as a gamer, you're like, oh, my kids want to play games, and some of them want to play games with me. Oh, this is the best. I've been playing games for, so many years, and me and my mates used to play, but then as years go on, you play less with your friends and more on your own. Then you realise that you can't play online because everybody's awful, and you have this is a solitary thing I do on my own. And then you create these people and they're like, I'll play with you. And you're like, oh, this is the best. That as a gamer, you're like, yes, this is what it was all working towards. When your children become obsessed with things, then you're like, is this healthy? When your child is very young and is a little bit obsessed with things, you're like, that's probably not a good thing. It's not necessarily super healthy. Maybe we need to rein it in a little. He's very much all over the map at the moment. He's got, I think, 3 or 4 different TV series he's into, which is good. You know, it's not if he can't watch whatever, it's like a meltdown situation. His sister is zoning in on the stuff that he likes and wants to watch, and she's very much like, I don't want to watch that, as you'd expect. But the computer game thing is a little bit more yikes. So yes, rest assured it's going to be something monitored going forward. And I've said this before, but I'm just so torn. Like, the gamer in me is like, yay, and the parent in me is like, ugh. So, loads of TV, but a movie, an actual movie. I've watched series 4, episode 5 and 6 of Invincible. Let's be real, I love it. I really enjoy it. This series has had a lot of flack for a variety of different reasons. It seems to be something to do with the animation. I keep saying I don't really see what the problem is. People keep showing like clips of season 1 versus season 4, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't see what your issue is. It did feature one of the episode 5 featured one of the most brutal things I've ever seen on television, and was like, is this really happening? Is this actually happening? I was only prepared for it because I'd actually seen the part of the comic that it's based on, and I was like, oh wow, I wonder if that's going to be in the series. Literally the next thing that happened, I was like, oh well, there you go. It was brutal. There's a part of me that's like, oh, I wonder if me and my eldest will watch this together. And every time I think it's something horrific happens, and I'm like, yeah, maybe not for a good few years. It'll be new episode on Wednesday. I think I've got one in the bag at the moment, so it's one of those I only really watch it when I'm on the treadmill. So yeah, a few times a week sort of thing. Me and Leanne watched series 3, episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10, being the final episode of Tulsa King, series 3 of Tulsa King. Yeah, as with each series, it had its conclusion. I've not loved this series. Series 3, it was not it for me. I have a feeling that there has been some monetary restraint put on it as a series, and I think they've had to cut a lot of corners. At one point in time, I said to Leanne, because obviously we've discussed that, I'm pretty sure they're cutting corners from a money perspective. I basically went with, you know what they should have done? They should have looked to see if they could have cut money elsewhere rather than cutting the makeup budget for this episode. Because why have all these people got half orange faces? Like, their faces were orange, but the rest of them was obviously had no makeup on. They look like a certain somebody, if you know what I mean. They've killed off characters for seemingly no reason. They've removed characters for seemingly no reason. They've had a massive ball drop with one character where they're like, this character's doing this, and they're like, that doesn't seem to make any sense. It's like, if that doesn't make sense, bear in mind, you won't see them again. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I've said previously, each character seems to be sort of a caricature of themselves from previous seasons. It's aggressive. One of the main characters in it, Tyson, series 1 and 2, more series 1, good character, good kind of like a sidekick character. Series 2 was getting a little bit out of their lane. Series 3, they're unrecognisable and not in any way, shape or form a good way. They are hands down the worst character. Like cringe kind of worst character. Series 3 has not been an enjoyable ride for me. It had the makings of a good series because it had some great cast members. Frank Grillo, Jason Patric. Is that? You know when you say a name out loud and then you're like, wait a minute, is that the right name? How do I get to, what's it from here? Just type it in. IMDb. I'm going to be annoyed when I do a search like this. What's Tulsa? Tulsa King. Have a little looky-loo. Where are we? Episodes. How do we get to... Oh, it annoys me. How do I get to the pigging episodes? I don't want photos or videos. Just show me the money. Videos, no. Photos, no. Cast. I mean, I guess. Will this do it? You're just going to give me the season regulars, aren't you? Where's the pigging episode bit? Honestly, this... I mean, it's fantastic podcasting, I appreciate. Let's get rid of that off the screen. Where are the episodes? Come on, bro. This is a fucking joke. Browse episodes, top rated, season... Wow. That's how you have to do it? That's... Well, you're going to show me season 4, episode 1. Okay. It's going to be a real letdown when... Fuck a duck. All cast and crew. Is this going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? Somebody right now is listening to this going, you know you got it right. And now you're just wasting everyone's fucking time. Oh, I've got a better idea. Boo. Wait, that's not it. I was wrong. So there you go. It was Robert Patrick. You know, the Terminator from Terminator 2. You know, you thought, oh, great, they've got this. Samuel Jackson's in it. They've got a lot of the guys from the original couple of series and all this. It was going to be good, and then it wasn't. And you're like, fuck, bro. A proper Larry letdown. Something that may strike you as a bit weird. But I've watched the first episode of Mole. And now I have to make a confession. And this is a confession that I've never told certain friends. But I never watched the Clone Wars. Is that what that's called? Oh, God, I'm going to have to look. You know, the animated Star Wars series. I think it was CG. Clone... Star Wars The Clone Wars? That just seems to be it. Looks about right. I didn't watch anything past Series 1. So I have seen, I mean, fuck me, you can't even get into the episodes on here. It would have been easier to look it up on my phone. Any Star Wars fan who's like seen that always talks about it being like the best Star Wars thing. I watched the first series; it was fine. I know when I've spoken to people, they're like, "Oh, what's the first series? It was fine." They're like, "Oh no, you got to watch more." So it might seem strange for me to be like, "I watched the first episode of Mole," and if I'm honest, I've watched half of the second episode. Meh. The reason is that when I saw a trailer for it, it looked really good, and I was like, "Oh, that looks really good." I always like Darth Maul as a character. I felt he'd kind of been done dirty. I know that since then they've sort of kind of, spoilers by the way, but they kind of brought him back as a character, even though he died. He died. But always enjoyed him as a character. Was happy that there was a way that they were able to do an entire series. It's CG animation. It's had amazing reviews, highest rated Star Wars thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm for this. Watched the first episode. It was fine. It was good. It worked. Some bits and bobs that I wasn't really sure about, but I was like, I mean, I'm not sure I'm the target audience, having not seen the Clone Wars TV series. I will continue watching it. I might be able to get an episode of finish the second episode tomorrow. We shall see. Speaking of TV series, I know I'm just a TV series magnet. Remember when me and Leon were watching Barry and we got so far through and ran out of time on it? Well, Barry is connected to HBO Max, and we apparently get HBO Max for free. Or we get some HBO Max for free. I don't know. I don't really know the rules, if I'm honest. But anyway, had a little looky-loo. Turns out Barry is on HBO Max and is available to us. So this evening we watched Series 4, Episode 4, because we'd already watched the first 3. Small problem. Couldn't remember what happened in the third episode. Had to piece it together. Leanne was a bit like, we should have watched it. I was like, yeah, probably. Because I don't think I remember what happened. She was like, I certainly don't. Like, cool. Series 4 was fine. The fact that the guy that it's about, it's called Barry, wasn't in it. So there was that. But it was good. There was some stuff about other characters. It really sort of focused on the other characters and what they're doing at this point in time, because things have changed. And then sort of how they go about processing a certain piece of information. If you haven't seen it and have any intention of watching it, anything I would say at this point in time would be pure spoiler, so I just won't. Our plan is to finish this series off, basically. So I think it's like just another 4 episodes, I think. And then I'm trying to push for something a little different, but I'm getting some pushback, which, yeah, not a fan. She's not a fan of what I want to watch, is what I mean. If all of that TV wasn't enough, somebody watched a movie this week. For a long time, we were trying to do like movie on a Friday, movie on a Saturday, depending on the week. So we tried to bring this back this week by watching Predator Badlands. Predator Badlands had reasonably good reviews. It was on our list to watch. We had opportunity, so we watched it. 7, 8 out of 10 is my wheelhouse. I don't expect things to be perfect. I don't expect things to be always the best. I like things to be good. I like things to be enjoyable, but slightly flawed, perfectly fine. Predator Badlands fits perfectly into that area. It's fine. There are a few questions. There are a few things where you're like, I wish that wasn't like that. And then you're like, you know something, that was good. It was perfectly fine. It was perfectly passable. One thing I will say about this movie is if you take the first half versus the second half, and maybe not even the second half, like the last 20 minutes versus the rest of it, they're almost completely different. The build-up and the payoff are completely different. You spend a lot of the sort of the build-up, the first hour, you're like, this is fine. But then the whole dynamic changes, like the dynamic of the characters changes, the way they're going to go about things changes, and the rest of the film then changes off the back of it. And it's so much better. It's loads better. And you get it. You're like, we need a setup, we need a tool. The irony being is that one of the characters in it is referred to as a tool, not that way, the other way. And they are a tool, but they're a tool for the audience. They serve a purpose for the audience, because without them, you wouldn't get the dynamic of the film. So you need them in the film. The film kind of does the same by going, oh, this character is a tool for a specific purpose. By the back end, not necessary. It's all gun ho at that point. Gun ho. It's all ho at that point. Wait, that's something else. So yeah, 7/8 out of 10 movie. If at any point in time you've watched a Predator film, there's a chance you will enjoy this one. And if Predator's not the thing for you, this probably wouldn't be the thing for you either. Go with that. So some computer games. Crimson Desert has had 2 or even 3 updates. I think one of them was a patch, because I've seen no mention of any update notes. However, the other 2 were updates. And I'm not going to mix my words. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. I feel that the game is categorically worse. I've really not been enjoying it. The game is harder across the board. The quirks and the things that are like little sort of niggles throughout the game where you're like, now, because of other things being such an issue, now those things are a massive problem. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I really wish this wasn't this, because once I've climbed this entire fucking mountain and I get to that place and then I get killed, the one thing I want to have to do is climb this fucking mountain again, because the climbing mechanics don't fucking work. And why, having spent 15 minutes climbing this fucking mountain, to then die 3 seconds in, would you send me back to the bottom of the fucking mountain? I have rage quit that game more this week than ever. Hands down, that game has taken a real turn for the worst. So much so that I nearly had to send like a tweet or whatever, a social media post to the game developers and be like, I know you listen to like the fans and I know that you're doing a lot to improve the game, but why is it so much worse now? Basically, all I do is spend my time dying, and I go up against like what would be considered low-level bosses, because I've come up against a proper boss, and yeah, I mean, they're essentially instant kill kind of things. They will kill you in one go. Those are real bosses. I'm talking about the bosses where you go, oh, I took down 1/3 of his health. I could maybe have another crack at it. So you say, I'll retry that. And it goes, cool, I'm going to now load for the next 2 minutes. And you're like, this is fun. Try dying 10 times to that. Same enemy. It's really pissed me off, honestly. The whole way things have gone has really annoyed me. And it has led to me playing other games, which part of me is really surprised at. I've been playing some The Crew Motorfest. I've been playing some of the game that I'm going to go on to. And I'm sure I was playing something else. As well as playing VR. I found myself drifting away. I've also had my eye turned. A new game has appeared on the horizon, has had absolutely amazing reviews. So I'm a bit like, oh, what have you got going on? I believe there are a series of updates due for Crimson Desert in the near future, and one of those updates seemed to say difficulty setting, and I was like, thank freaking whatever. The game that I keep alluding to that me and my children have been playing is Achilles Survivor, which is basically I was going to say Norse, but I don't think I mean Norse. What's the other one? What was Kratos before he was Norse? I was going to say Roman, but it's not Roman. It's not Aztec. Jeez, the brain. Why don't I open this and click on here and go into here? And is there a way to see the blurb thing? Yes, if you go to there. Thousands of enemies, one survivor. Fight like a demigod, build deadly defenses, and grow stronger after every run in this fast-paced bullet heaven set in mythic Greece. Yeah, let's just go with that. I can't think what, Achilles, Hercules, all those sorts of people. Anyway, it's basically Vampire Survivor, just more 3D, more upscaled in a lot of ways, and set in Greek mythology. And it's a lot of fun. Me and the kids play it, and I've sort of kind of got the rhythm of the game at this point in time, so I'm sort of trying to pass that on to them. My son just basically presses buttons and wanders around, and he can seem to do it. And my daughter likes to think she can do it until the point in time where I'm like, you want to go over here and do this? She's like, I don't want to play anymore. It's good. It's very much you can just put it on and play. I put it on yesterday because I was like, I've got 10 minutes and there's an option to play a 10-minute game. Let's do this. It's kind of that kind of thing. A lot of fun. We've been upgrading characters. I spent a whole £4 on it as a game, and then I spent an 89p on a DLC to get another character, because I was a bit like, 89p, another character, and it's a giant Minotaur. Fuck yeah, let's do this. Finally, Into the Radius 2. I've been playing the beta, which has got the story mode, etc. I saw a video yesterday talking about how awful the game is now. I was like, okay, sure, why not? What I will say is this: the game is a little broken in places, and I also believe that I may have finished the excuse me 1 second. I may have finished the story, what there is of it, but it didn't tell me that. So I carried on playing and then went, hang on a minute, I'm doing the same missions over and over again. Some of the missions are broken. You go to pick something up that isn't there, or you go to drop something off and you don't know where to drop it off. So it's a little broken. And something that's really evident in this version of the game, and super fucking annoying. There's a lot of anomalies. They've created new anomalies. So when you put all of them together, there's so much of it. You just go in pillar to post getting absolutely hammered. That's before you have to deal with any enemies. So it's a little bit annoying in places. I'm hoping that we'll get the rest of the story at some point soon, and I'm hoping they'll address some of the, well, yeah, like I said, the anomaly issue. Because I've kind of finished the story, and there's going to be essentially nothing else to do at the moment. I am thinking of taking a break from it. I would like the rest of the story to play through, and I would like to not feel like I was kind of wasting my time. Yes, I can earn money and get more weapons and do this, that, and the other. I've modded it absolutely up to the eyes, but some of the mods seem to be working in a strange way, in the sense that they're not quite giving you everything you want. So you can't carry more than a certain number of clips. You can't have too many light sources working at the same time. There's all these like weird quirks that even with the mods don't help. There's been a bit of a weird one, but I may take a little bit of a break whilst waiting for the rest of the story. We shall see. There we go. That's it. A little bit of a bumper one this time, but we are done. So I will catch you next time. So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done, another one gone. Bit of a bumper episode, this one. Yeah, don't know. Kind of ran away with itself, I guess. Big thank you for watching. Big thank you for listening. Big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us. That is it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
This is a Cookie Cat production.